Um, you hear the music in the background. Usually we have a good time up here. I don't know what's going on with the crowd, but hey, they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. We're gonna have a good time. First, I have to always send out shouts to those things that I love and that support me, as well as support those out there. So first, I want to give shouts out to Oxy Water, of course, the world's first oxygen enhanced mineral water. One stop shop if you trying to do some changes in your life. Check it out. You want to get healthy? Oxy Water is an excellent choice and an excellent place to start as far as your hydration. Alright, next, you go to www.oxywater.com. Next, I want to send shouts out to my man over at Orange 82 for providing us with our music, the intro, the exit, and the commercial music. I want to send shouts out to them and send a lot of thanks out to them because they make it possible for me to have the music and to at least not bore you to death just with all my vocalizations. All right, so what we're gonna do is give Spreaker a chance to go and handle their business. So, and I will come back and I'm gonna start off by talking about my big brother, No More X. I'd like to welcome you back to the journey, brother Hatim, and I have to stop and salute a man who made it possible for me to, in a sense, become Hatim and to do the things that I'm doing in my life right now, as far as the writing and the research and coming up with different ideas, being able to defend them mentally, spiritually, and physically. So I have to send shouts out to my big brother No More X. For those that didn't know him, um, I have to say that it's kind of too bad because Norma was a one of a kind brother that was very inspirational and very knowledgeable. I first met Normal X at a place called the African Center of Study and Worship, where he had been there for years. And when I first made contact with him, it was somewhere around 80, late 87, 88. And I just happened to be driving through the community and I had heard about the African Center because I was attending Ohio State. And I was looking for some knowledge. And I stumbled into the African Center on a Friday night for one of their classes, and I got hooked. Normal might have not necessarily been running the class, but he had plenty of stuff to say. As far as historically, Normal had not only read uh, tons and tons of information, but he also documented his information and was going around the country at the time I met him doing a slide presentation called The African Holocaust. He also dealt somewhat with African spirituality. Really that's what really caught me when he started talking about some of the ideas and some of the fallacies of the holidays. And he was doing this long before a lot of the lectures was out there doing this thing. He was doing this before it was really popular or even lucrative to do this. And he was definitely a light in my life. Our relationship developed because through him and Afterson, I was introduced to one of my elders, Dr. Marie Kelsey, and I plugged more into the food co-op, assisting with the food co-op that no one had ran for over 30 years. Um, and he saw the ebbs and flow of the market, and he used to tell me that they at one point in time they used to have to do boxes all day because people from all over was supporting what they was doing, and I watched him hang on when people stopped coming to support it. As a matter of fact, I used to get a couple of threatening calls if I had disappeared too long. And in a sense, that started our relationship. And one of the reasons I think it's important that I focus on this relationship is because Nomo was a mentor to me. And it's important that all those that's on the journey have mentors. These mentors bless us and they challenge us. And when we're falling off the path, they can help get us back on the path. Normal several times had basically threatened my life if I had made certain moves. I knew that he was there to check me, and it always was a good balance, a good stability, because I know a lot of it was taught. At least I hope it was. But I mean, if you know Normal's history, uh, he could whoop your ass, and he didn't have no qualms whooping my ass, and I really appreciated that. And I hope that in his transition he realized my love for him, um, if nobody else's. You know, I love this man, and he was a great inspiration. Um, he had a nickname for me. I'm gonna put it on the air, and I know some of y'all ignorant motherfuckers out there might want to try to use the nickname, but you don't have that type of clout. He used to call me Peanut Head. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he called anybody else Peanut Head, but he always reminded me of where I was from and what I was supposed to be doing. No matter how far out there I got with spirituality, no matter how far I got out there with changing my perspective, Normal always loved and supported me. There's been several times where I had very little in my pocket, and he would find a way to make sure that he would take care of me if it wasn't nothing but giving me a box until I got paid. If it wasn't nothing but purchasing something off me that he knew that I didn't need anyway, he would find a way to hook me up. And he looked out for me during my college years, and he was a shining light for me in my adult years. And he will continue being a powerful force in my life now as an ancestor. As uh, Marcus Garvey talked about in his death when he gave one of his last speeches, which I was introduced to Marcus Garvey through No More X. I mean, because let me just get into it like this. Nomo had a way of bringing it to life, bringing history to life. It wasn't boring. It wasn't. He had different way of looking at it. He was able to make connections where other people couldn't make connections, and he could bring it to life. And being a Pisces himself, I'm thinking that this helped stabilize his view. This helped broaden his view so that he was able to say things in ways that would spark you to want to do the research. He constantly sparked me to want to improve who I was and what I was doing. He's constantly sparked me to push through when things got hard. I mean, even on some of the times when I wanted to leave college, Noma was one of those voices that was like, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I advise you to stay in school. And when I didn't want to go back to school after I do what I wanted to do, he was one of those voices that made sure I went back. So, I have to send shots out to this man, to this mountain in my life. Along with sending out shots to him, because I let him know in his life what he meant for me, and I always promised that when my ship came in, his ship came in, and we have a deal. So when my ship come in, his ship still is coming in. So I don't know what shape that's going to take. I'm going to let the universe throw that out there. But, I don't believe in allowing my elders just to fade out and then they just become a memory. I'm going to do something in his name. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but when it pops off, understand that No More X is in the house. And it's going to be more than spiritual. It's going to be more than me pouring water as a libation. I'm going to pour libations in effort. I'm going to pour libations in objects, things, and reality. Because he will never be forgotten as far as I'm concerned. Because he sparked in me. He sparked in me something that was just tremendous. As a matter of fact, he is the godfather of my oldest son, although my oldest son might not remember that. But No More X is the godfather of wisdom. So, what else? I mean, this was my dude. So, I had to go on my little tirade about No More X. And I won't shed no tears on the air, but, I'll probably shed some a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? Not because he's gone, but because I'm going to miss him. Because it was kind of good to get a call. As a matter of fact, in the last few months of his life, he would call me and we would talk about music. And he had some stuff that he was trying to find because during one of our trips, he would take me with him and he played a song by Hugh Master Keeler called Stimuli. And man, he was like, I really like that song. I can't find it. What was the name of that song? So I got on the internet, I found it, and I made sure that Amazon delivered it directly to him, delivered the whole album to him. Then he got into some of the reggae, and he wanted the Steel Pulse Ultimate Collection, and he wanted the, I don't think it wasn't Third World, but I can't remember. I have to look back on my Amazon account. But I was making sure that he got what he needed. I couldn't do a lot, but it's the small things that really count. It's the small things that really count. Be there for your elders. Be there for your mentors. Be there for your masters when they are in their last moments. Be there because it's good for your spirit. Because there's nothing worse than allowing somebody to die without you giving them their flowers before they pass. So this has been Brother Hot Tim talking about No More X. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And we're going to come back and maybe hit on the election or hit on some other shit. I don't know. Whatever vibe is. So with that, Spreaker, do you. Peace, I'm back. Let me start out with this little simple pledge that I do every morning when I get up. I'm a Gianni man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my broken center. I pledge to find and connect with this center. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to develop my spirit. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher, and to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and push past all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to live the principles of the Gianni warrior and to assist all those seeking the path to success. I pledge all these things first to myself, to all my relations, to my teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gianni. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Now, those words motivate me every day to do the best that I can do. I got them hanging up over my mirror. Sometimes I could spurt it off real quick. Other times I can't. I'm getting older. So those out there that know it, forgive me. But I start my day off every day saying these words to myself, reminding myself of what I'm supposed to do as a Gianni man. And looking at this political situation and looking at the politicians, I wonder if they're waking up, saying pledges and making promises to themselves and to better the world, because a lot of the times I can't tell. You know, I know I'm pretty cynical on what's going on as far as politics, but this last election got on my nerves. Now, Obama won, as everybody know, and hooray, hooray, hooray. But now it's time for the real work to be done. Now, I want some of those people who had, specifically women, who had their titty in Obama's mouth during the first session and he could do no wrong. I want y'all to take y'all titties out his mouth and take your hands from around his back. And now is the time for us to start making some things happen. Now, I'm going to say this as far as Obama, and I could put it best the way one of my elders told me a while ago. I had the pleasure of sitting at the feet of Elder, I call him Elder B, Elder Belafonte. And for those that don't know, Harry Belafonte. And one of the stories that he told us, I think, was about A. Philip Randolph going to the White House. And I can't remember the president that he told us, but a lot of y'all that's out there, that's in my circles, y'all know the story. Well, anyway, I think A. Philip Randolph gave the president all these great ideas about equal rights, about whatever issue was going on during that day. And the president said, I agree with everything you say, but if you want me to do it, you have to make me do it. So A. Philip Randolph left the dinner table, went out, and got to work. See, our political officials have to kowtow to all those people that put up all that money. I want y'all to think about all the money that went into these political campaigns. Think about the money that went into these political campaigns. People are not paying money just because this person makes them feel good. Yeah, people in poverty may do that, but people who's giving $3, $4, $5 million is not just giving them this money because it's the right thing to do. No, they're giving them the money because it's something coming out of it. Let's not be naive about that. Those of you that got behind Obama and had his posters and all that stuff and was doing all this stuff, as citizens of the United States, whether you agree with Obama's politics or not, in order for anything to happen in the communities that you are in directly, the only thing that will make things happen is you start raising a fuss. Now, he's a lame duck president. What this means for those people that really don't understand, this means that he can't be elected back in office. He's done after this. I mean, he could go into political life in other areas and stuff and maybe come back and run 4 years or 8 years later. But the point is that right now he's done. So everything that we expect for him to do, in order for him to do, we have to make him do. Because he's sitting up there and he can't make it seem like he's being favorable to one group or another. As the president, he's the president of the United States. He's not the black president. He's not the president of mixed kids. He's not the president of just white America. He's the president of the United States of America. And in order for him to be able to make the changes happen that we need to happen, we need to make our voices heard now. And a lot of times it don't start in the last year of his reign. We got to start now. We got to start making sure that your voice or our voices are heard so that we can have the changes that we really want in education, in the way that things are financed, in big corporations. If we sit on our asses throughout this next 4 years, I don't know what to, I ain't gonna say it's done because this thing is like a big roulette reel. It's gonna keep on going. We have to be able to force some things to happen. Now, on to another point. It's time that in America that we start realizing that the two-party system is just not big enough for all the different ideas in America. We may need to start looking at being able to make some of these other parties or creating new parties and making them legitimate that's going to be responsible to the people, not to the corporations. If we want change, we definitely going to have some other voices into this argument other than Democrats and Republicans. They are entrenched, they are comfortable. And because they are entrenched and because they are comfortable, we may have to come up with some other solutions. We may have to take a couple of different we may have to take a couple of unknown roads and either get on with some of these other parties and get them to start looking out for our interests, or develop new parties. And, it ain't nothing revolutionary about that whole thought because the Republican Party, as far as I know, is new. I heard they came, I ain't saying new now, but they came out of the Whig Party or something like that, and eventually they started doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Republican Party today is almost totally different than the Republican Party of the past. So we can have new parties. It's not against the law. As a matter of fact, it's going to be necessary because right now, both these parties are getting big money from these corporations, and it may not be the politicians that's scheming against you. It may be those corporations that you're working for because they want the cheapest labor that they can find. They want workers without a voice. And if you don't mind doing that, then cool. Then just sit and wait for the next election so that you can get the same bullshit thrown at you again. All right, now on to another point. I have a question. I've never really been a player, but if I was going to be a player, I wouldn't necessarily be playing over my text messages, playing with text messages and being a player on the email when I have national attention. How the fuck do we put people in charge of things like the CIA and the motherfuckers can't even get away with having illicit affairs? That shit boggles my mind. How the fuck are you sitting up in Central Intelligence? Listen to the name, Central Intelligence. This tell you where our country's going. Sitting in a place called the Central Intelligence Agency doing dumb shit. How and getting caught for dumb shit. I don't understand. Could somebody please text me? Could someone please call me? Could somebody please write an editorial and please explain to me how a motherfucker in charge of spies get caught doing some shit that spies do every day? You know what I'm saying? That's some cloak and dagger type shit. That's some, having an affair is basic spy shit. How you get caught and you the boss of spies? What the fuck? Can somebody please help me understand this? Can you please explain this to me? Can you please broadcast it? Let me know, cause I'm boggled. I'm amazed. I'm stupefied. I'm stunned. I don't understand. And then on top of that, you got another agency telling on your ass. How? Can somebody tell me how the Federal Bureau of Investigation caught this motherfucker? But nobody in the CIA knew nothing about this shit. Come on now. Yeah. I mean, I'm so sick of these fucking political games. I'm so sick of all this bullshit that it's bothering me. There's something else going on, and we have to be astute. We have to be very focused to look through the smoke screen and see what's going on behind these closed doors. Now, as human beings, we had the ability to speculate. We had the ability to look around and speculate. And I'm not that deep into the politics to be able to speculate about the next move that's about to come down the pipe. I probably could, but I'm not going. I'm gonna leave that to other radio shows and other people. But there's some shit coming. I ain't gonna say it's the end of the world, because I ain't into all that shit. But there's some shit coming. Listen, because whenever shit like this start to happen, it's to take our attention off something else. You know, I mean, how the fuck can good grief. Now, last thing, and then we're gonna go to a commercial break. I was sitting up thinking the other day, because I've been hearing people talk about the death of the Republican Party, and it thrills me to go to sleep at night listening to right-wing radio stations, because they had the best radio shows, and I love the late night shows that come on talking about spirituality, UFOs and shit, coast to coast. That's what it's called. And so I turn the radio on so that perhaps maybe after they get done ranting and hating on Obama, like he the cause of all this shit that we're going through in America. I don't understand it. But I'm hearing about the death of the Republican Party. And I'm thinking that if the Republican Party is on its way down, then that also means that, for me, that the Democratic Party need to also be worried about its constituents as well. This is why. Because I'm looking around and I'm wondering how many people really voted for Obama. Now, I know you sitting out there, I voted for Obama, or your friend. Now, because this is the question I'm asking. Did you necessarily vote for Obama, or did you vote against Romney? I mean, and it's a legitimate question. Are we voting against the Republican platform rather than voting for a candidate that can inspire us and move us into the future? I mean, because our country is dying from a lack of a vision. I mean, I don't see why these motherfuckers can't see that they need to give the country a united vision, a focus, a challenge, so that we can move towards it. America is moved by competition. Once we start setting up the competition, we're going to reign supreme. And when we get somebody that can articulate this challenge to the people, America not only will turn around economically, it will turn around culturally, it will turn around as far as our principles, it'll turn around as far as our values, it'll be united, because we got these parties, and I'm so sick of this shit, just arguing amongst themselves like the rest of the world don't count. And I know they argue about international policies and shit like that, but we're arguing amongst ourselves as a country as if a divided house can stand. It was said 1,000 years ago. A divided house can't stand. And we have a divided house at this point in time. And as American citizens, we need to snatch up all these politicians and slap them in line. We need to get them in line so that they can get some type of unified vision, stop arguing like little kids. You know, because that's what it sounds like a lot of times to me. I got to walk past. My wife loved watching that shit. I have to get up and I have to walk out the room because they be bickering like children. No, this is my toy. No, that's my toy. And Obama broke my toy, and my toy is not working right now. It hasn't been working right for the last 4 years. And our toy was perfect before Obama. And if Romney got the toy, he gonna get my toy, my toy. Now they sound a little bit, they got a little bit more polish on it, but when you really listen to it, it's almost like you just want, you know, being a man, I want to be like, shut the fuck up. Now what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna be? Why we don't have no vision for our kids? Let's give them a focus. Let's do something. Let's say fuck Mars. Fuck Mars. We know right now through quantum entanglement that every molecule, every cell, every on the quantum level, on the very smallest level, quarks or whatever the fuck they call them, everything is touching everything else. Fuck Mars. We could send somebody to the other side of the universe and we say we're gonna do it before the Chinese do it, and we're gonna educate our kids to be able to move into this new form of thought, into this new science, and we're gonna move to the other end of the universe. We're gonna do that shit before 2035. We will send a motherfucker so far out that we don't even know what it is. Matter of fact, we're gonna send a motherfucker so far out that he's gonna go back in time. We're gonna send a motherfucker. Just lie. We're gonna send a motherfucker to the Big Bang. We're gonna send a microphone to the big. We're gonna send a chimp to the Big Bang. We want to be able to collect these chimp particles after the Big Bang. When the light hit us, we want to be able to collect these particles so that we can analyze this shit. Give us some type of vision. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't enough just to say green energy. Let's say what the fuck we gonna do with green energy. Fuck the jobs. Talk about the opportunities. Tell these motherfuckers. We need to tell the people, look, with this green energy shit, we're going to produce another million wealthy motherfuckers in this country. Are you going to be one of those? And you need to be geared, you need to gear your education. We're going to gear the education to develop another 10 million millionaires. And you can live wherever the fuck you want to live. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do as long as you pay your taxes. Where is the vision? Damn, this done took up my whole time. I'm going to go to a commercial real quick, and then I'm going to end my show. You know, it was a pleasure talking with y'all. I love ranting and shit. I'm sitting up here. I know these motherfuckers looking at me up in the shop like I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck because I'm doing what I love. I'm doing my passion. And I suggest that you find your passion. Stop fucking around at a dead-end job. Get up. Get on the journey. Join the journey. If you need some help, get one of my books. Get one of my tapes. I don't give a shit. Get one. If you ain't got no money, text me, email me. I will send you a PDF for free. I don't give a fuck. It's time that we start changing, because I'm seeing motherfuckers that want to compete with America. And if we keep allowing our kids to fall through the cracks, if we keep allowing our adults to be lazy, if we stop people from thinking, we are going to lose. And I don't, and no, fuck don't. I will not allow my children to inherit a world in a more fucked up situation than what I'm in right now. As parents out there, you ought to be concerned. It ought to be deeper than Snooki and the Psychic in New Jersey and these little tramps and trampers that's running on TV. We got to do something to change this motherfucking world. What is the mark you gonna leave on this planet? What is the mark that you gonna leave in history? Our generations, all the generations that's here right now, what the fuck are we gonna be known for? Are we gonna be the ones that people look back on and laugh because we stopped running? We didn't lose the race because we wasn't capable. We lost the race because we just stopped running. God damn it! Get up and run. Get up off your ass, America. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of the laziness. I'm sick of the not thinking. I'm sick of the TV shows that are about absolutely nothing. They have absolutely no creativity. It's about who fucking who on reality TV. You know what? You want reality TV? Look at your motherfucking life. Look at some of the drama that's going on in the workplace. Let's put some creative people back on TV. Let's get some creative shows back on so our kids can start thinking. Really? So our adults can start thinking, man. Damn, at least with the soap operas, they had something to look forward to, and they could visualize in their mind the new drama that was coming on and know that it was illusion. You know what I'm saying? This shit right here, we got kids coming up on reality TV. I'm scared for the future. I ain't scared of I ain't scared of shit, but I'm just saying, you know. All right. So I ain't gonna be able to come back. I only got about 2 minutes, 18 seconds. So this has been Brother Hatim. I'd like to thank you for joining me on Gianni Journey Freestyle Friday. I've been doing this shit on a regular basis for a long time, and I'm loving doing it, and I'm loving the fact that I'm getting more and more listeners every day. With that, Brother Hatim says peace.
Free and serious.